Hello everyone, this is Incredible Fencing Podcast. For more information you can visit my website or subscribe to my YouTube channel or Instagram page. Hello everyone, this is episode 3 of Incredible Fencing Podcast and my name is Taras. Hopefully everybody is alright, and this time I decided to make the topic of this episode named 5 tips how to become a better fencer, regardless of your fencing level or age. You still need to improve your fencing, even if you don't do it professionally, or maybe you do. These 5 tips can be expanded, of course, expanded to even more tips, but this time I'm gonna tell you only these 5, which in my opinion could be your favorite, and they are my favorite. So let's start from the first tip of becoming a better fencer. Is your consistency. So if you become consistent fencer, you're gonna do it every week. You're gonna do it at the same days and at the same times. Of course, your body is gonna adjust to this training and become more prepared, and all the body processes, inside your body, is gonna be directed to ease all your movements on the fencing piste and basically everywhere, right? So, of course, consistency is super important. So, for example, if you go to fencing trainings every day during the week, during 1 month, so you're gonna be in very good shape. But then 1 month you're not gonna do anything. Probably you're gonna lose all your fencing conditions or all your fitness, and you're gonna get back to lower level. But if you do fencing every 2 days, right, and you do it 2 months in a row, so at the end of second month you're still gonna be in nice shape, right? So better to have a good consistency, I already told you, and of course it's gonna be much better than, for example, do fencing a lot for some period of time and then you just drop it for some period of time. You're gonna also go down. So if you do it 2-3 times a week, or maybe 4, of course, if you do it 3-4 times a week, is even better, right? So your fencing growth is gonna be much faster, and of course you're gonna get much higher level of fencing in general. So that was our tip number 1, being consistent in fencing. All right, moving on. And tip number 2, how to be a better fencer, is taking private lessons with a fencing coach. Of course, when you go to group classes, group trainings, you do some warm-up, you do footwork, you fence probably a lot, right? But fencing private lesson, when you basically meet coach one-on-one for some period of time, maybe 20-30 minutes, maybe more, it's a special part of fencing development. It's basically not the same thing as you go to fence with real opponents, but you can exercise a lot of new strokes. you can apply during fencing matches. You can improve your mistakes in your technique. And most important, when you go to private lesson with coach, you hit the coach many times during the lesson, right? But for example, when you go to fence with someone, it also depends on up to how many points, maybe sometimes up to 5, sometimes up to 15. So you hit your opponent maybe like about 10 times in general, right? And you basically shake your hands and that's all. So you can get much more hitting practice during fencing lesson, and you can learn something new from your coach. And of course, if you do it with coach who knows your fencing style, who can see you during group classes, how you fence, how you can grow forward, how you can move, of course, coach can help you, because having extra pair of eyes who can look at you from the outside, it's very important, I think. And coach can help you a lot on your way to become a better fencer. And of course, you're gonna work together. And if you work together more and more time, you can get more good things from this cooperation with coach. And you can improve your strengths. You can eliminate or diminish your weaknesses. So this is very important part of fencing training. It's a private lesson, or somebody call it individual lesson with coach. So how many private lessons you need to take a week? It also depends of the level, of your level, of the age of fencer, of course, because on the beginning, when people start to take fencing classes, maybe they don't take private lessons right away. They just wanna just try, and later on, of course, it's almost necessary to take private lesson. And of course, you can take one lesson per week, and if you become more professional and you need to grow faster, of course, it's recommended to take 2 or maybe even 3 private lessons a week, right? So that was tip number 2, private lessons with fencing coach. It's very important. All right, and tip number 3. I think tip number 3 is supposed to be improving your footwork. And I'm gonna explain why. Of course, fencing, in generally consists many parts of training. You can do some general fitness, you can do strength conditioning training, you do footwork, and you do some work with dummy, private lessons. But I think fencing is very, very intense game which involves a lot of footwork. So basically, your footwork is your wheels, which can deliver you to your opponent, so you can perform the final action to hit him or her. So if you have a nice footwork, of course, it's going to be much easier to over move, if you can say so, right? You can move faster on the piste. You can dominate your opponent in the footwork, and of course, you're gonna feel the difference if your footwork is nice. So I think footwork it takes very big part of fencing and success on fencing piste. depends on footwork a lot. So you need to practice footwork basically on every training when you're preparing to competitions. So this is very tiring work sometimes even boring, but it's necessary to improve your fencing and to be stronger on the fencing piste. And what is very important, it's never perfect. You cannot reach perfect level. There is every time space to improve your footwork. So it can be bad, it can be average, and it can be good, but there is still a way to grow. If you do footwork, so if you practice more, your footwork, of course, is gonna be much better. But of course, you have to do it with some system, right? So to not overdo it, because sometimes you need rest, and depending of the period of training season, right? So if you go to competition tomorrow, if you practice your footwork today, it's not gonna help you that much, right? So you should practice your footwork in the right period of time. So maybe coach's advice is also very important on this matter. And that was point number 3. And practicing your footwork can improve your fencing, that's for sure. And point number 4, my tip number 4, you have to analyze your opponent's fencing. Because all people on earth, in general, all people on earth are different, right? Everyone is a little bit, or more than a little bit, different, right? Everybody is different. There is no two the same people in the world, right? So everybody's fencing also different, and with different opponents, you should have different tactics on the piste, and of course, you should analyze your opponent's mistakes, your opponent's weaknesses. You should focus on successful actions on the piste and apply them. So, depending on your opponent, your fencing tactics during the fencing bout can change. So, for example, the simplest way, there are some people who like more defend and some people who like more go to attack. So you should find out what your opponent doesn't like and force him to do what he doesn't like. For example, if he likes to go to attack, in generally, you shouldn't let your opponent go to attack and let him go to defense. And all the way around, if he likes to go to defense, you should provoke him to attack and put himself or herself in uncomfortable position, so you can have more chances to score the points. That is a simple example, but of course there is a lot of things to apply during fencing match, a lot of tactics and many things to adjust your fencing depending on your opponent's fencing style. And of course, you need to remember your opponent also can analyze yourself, and this is a game of minds, a mental game. I already told in last episode, fencing is a physical chess, so not only your body involved in the game, but also your brain, and you have to exercise it, of course. All right, so that was tip number 4. You have to analyze your opponent and adjust your fencing style depending on your opponent behavior on the piste. We will say like that. And moving to the last tip number 5, The very important thing to improve your fencing is to watch some fencing videos in internet. For example, on YouTube, there is a lot of fencing related YouTube channels. You can check it out. The first channel is FIE, International Fencing Federation. So if you check, if you even search fencing in YouTube, you can find out a lot of related to fencing videos, some fencing bouts from Olympic Games, from World Championships, from Grand Prix, from World Cups, from 3 different kinds of weapons. So when you watch fencing video, of course, if you pay attention, of course, right? So you can put yourself on that position of famous fencers who are doing some successful things on the fencing piste, right? And you can also take something from their fencing and try during your fencing training against your opponent. And sometimes you even can imitate somebody who is your favorite fencer. Imitation is also very important. So when you watch fencing videos, of course, anyway, more or less, you're gonna take something from those strong fencers, and of course you're gonna try to do something on the piste. So this is very important, and you can get inspired by someone's victory. There is a lot of comebacks you can find in internet, fencing comebacks, when someone were losing badly and then he caught second wind and came back to the game and won the match. So you even can watch some fencing comebacks on my YouTube channel, Incredible Fencing. So there you go. Just find something interesting for you on YouTube or wherever it can be. Maybe there is some other websites where you can watch fencing bouts or fencing videos. And that was tip number 5. And probably there are more tips, and I think for sure there are more tips. So you can think as well, or maybe you can check in internet what else can improve your fencing, and try it, of course. So because fencing is also a mental game, sometimes you need to stop for a minute and think about what can be successful for the next fencing training. So when you have a goal, you can go for it. All right, so that was my 5 tips how to become better fencer, how to improve your fencing, and move forward to the next level of your fencing training. So hopefully that was helpful, and if you have any comments, you can send me a message, and just subscribe to this podcast, and of course I'm gonna try to do more videos, and further I'm also planning to do some small short interviews, of course. Yeah, this is a little bit harder. I figure it is hard because to take interview you need to find out free space on your schedule and on the schedule of that person whom you want to interview, right? So, but anyway, it's harder, but I'm gonna do it, and then I'm gonna upload it here. So stay tuned and have a nice day. You are listening to Incredible Fencing Podcast. For more information, you can subscribe to my YouTube channel, visit my Instagram page or website.